Hi everyone, this is a Psychic Sleuth, and this is just a video to explain a few things and a little bit about me. I do apologize if there's any noise ahead of time. I do have rescues and whatnot, as I've stated before in my other video. So if you haven't watched that, please do. I do try to find quiet time, but things happen, plain and simple. Uh, this is a couple things I want to mention, and that is basically, if you want to leave negative comments, that's fine. You will be muted. They will be deleted. I don't have time for them. If you want to sit there and say that I came up with this stuff all on my own or I could have read something, or I could have been guided somewhere and been told this and just guessed all this crap, go ahead, say it. But it's not the truth. Okay? I get my information from Spirit. I would never put out fake information. I would never do that on purpose. If I'm misinterpreting something, that I am human. We do that. So with that being said, a lot of times Spirit will speak cryptic. They just do. It's the way that things come across. They will bring things symbolically. They will bring things in puzzle pieces that you have to fit together. I wish they could just say, this is the person that did it. This is where the body is, whatever, but that's not how they work. Okay. For whatever reason, I don't know. It's not a perfect exact science. I know with the Delphi murders, I did have my information out within a few days after that happened, before anybody else came out with all their conspiracy theories. Okay, I had my stuff out there you can check on Blog Talk for my videos on that. If you want to find out more information of stuff that I've come out that I haven't put in the videos, that's on the Psychic Sleuth. I know that I'll have followers and I know that I'll have naysayers, and that's fine. Just please keep your negative comments to yourself. I'm not a fake. I would never do that. I would never put anything like that out there. Okay? If I misinterpret something or if I'm wrong, I am human. Psychics are not 100%. Mediums are not 100%. We can misinterpret what we're getting. That doesn't mean that the information we're getting isn't correct or accurate. It just means that the way that we're interpreting it to you guys is off. Okay? So I want to explain a little bit about me and how I came across my gift so that maybe you understand me a little bit more. I was always sort of intuitive. I was always able to pick things up and know things were going to happen before they happened. In 2011, I met my twin flame. You can Google what that is. It's basically the other half to your soul. You only ever get one in any of your lifetimes. You're created together when you're created, and you're split in half. The dark will not allow twin flames to be together on the earth plane. They don't like it. There's too much light is emitted for twin flames, so the dark will usually attack mostly the male, and they will basically come in the form of drugs, alcohol, circumstances, things like that, to try to break you apart. That is kind of what happened with me and my twin flame, and then he passed away in 2012, exactly a year to the day that we met. Before that, I would be very intuitive with him. I could tell him what was going on with him and all of that kind of stuff, and he would absolutely hate that. So my psychic senses were picking up when I was with him, and that's normal because that's what happens with twin flames. And so after he passed away, I had a really hard time with it. They say that once the twin flame leaves, it's like the other one, their heart breaks. A lot of them die from broken hearts, literally, because without your twin flame, after you've met them in a physical life, you feel like you can't breathe. So I began begging God that I wanted to speak to him, and I began hearing him. I thought I was going crazy at the time, but I wasn't. Come to find out, I had a lot of other mediums and psychics that were working with me through this time, and they were able to direct me and tell me, yes, you're hearing him. Yes, this is, you're correct in what you're hearing. So I would sit and I would auto write with him. And that's what became really comfortable to me, is I would have conversations and I would auto write, and I wouldn't realize what I was writing until I looked back and I read about it. In, I believe it was October of 2012, he had passed away in May of 2012. He told me to start a grief group. It's called Journey Through Grief with Spirit. And I started the grief group. And at first, I was just thought I was going to be there to help people through the grieving process. But as I would type to them and talk to them, I would notice that I was kind of auto-writing again. And then I began hearing spirit, things that I knew that there was no way I could have known. the one thing that I remember about that is I was talking to a lady, and this is the one thing that really sticks out in my head is I heard mashed potatoes, and that was really random. And I told her, I said, I hear mashed potatoes. I don't know what it means to me. I'm new at this. And she said, well, I'm sitting here making mashed potatoes right now. And so that was a real eye opener for me. Like, how could I have known that? And it was something that I heard. I had started off with my hearing, and then I started off with seeing. And I had always been very visual throughout my life. And I didn't realize that it was actually visions. Our imagination plays a lot into the clairvoyance, and I didn't realize that. Anything that you could tell me, I could visualize it. And so that was part of my clairvoyance opening up. And then so after my clairvoyance opened up, the other parts of my gifts started opening up. So with that, I began giving readings, and every reading that I gave was really accurate. People were very happy. I had brought people back from suicide that were ready to take their life because the messages that I was giving was so healing for them. I would come up with stuff there's no way I could have known, and it wasn't stuff that I could have found on the web or anything like that. And so I had people write testimonials because I wanted people to know that I was the real deal and I was in this for the right reasons. I'm not in this to get rich. I struggle every day of my life to make it financially. I have a lot of chronic pain problems and physical problems that have kept me from really getting into this until recently when I just said, screw it, I'm going to do the best that I can. And so when I put videos out there, I'm not tech savvy. I come to you like this, and I apologize for this. My son's about to come home. I'm just going to finish up real quick. I don't have a pause button, okay? I'm not tech savvy. I don't have a lot of good equipment, but my heart is in the right place.